We all saw the narco entrance. We felt the euphoria of those 98-mile-per-hour fastballs erasing the ninth inning. But what if I told you that the contract that made Edwin Diaz the richest relief pitcher in history wasn't just about security, but was fundamentally designed for his eventual departure?
The opt-out clauses were not a fail-safe. They were the escape hatch he always knew he'd need after achieving the impossible. And the moment he took it, he confirmed that the story of his New York reign ended not in glory, but in a profound administrative misunderstanding. Welcome to 609 True News, where we dive deep into the devastating deals and premature exits that leave the hearts of Queens truly broken. To understand the tragedy of Edwin Diaz's exit, you first have to grasp the magnitude of his arrival. This wasn't just a good closer coming over from Seattle. This was a historic artifact. In 2018, before he ever wore the orange and blue, Diaz secured 57 saves, boasting a preposterous 0.79 WIP, placing him among only 20 pitchers in the expansion era to post a sub-0.8 mark over 70 innings. He was untouchable, a cheat code. But New York doesn't reward history. New York demands immediate perfection, and what followed his blockbuster trade alongside the disgraced Robinson Canó was a psychological demolition derby. In 2019, Diaz didn't just struggle, he broke records for failure, allowing 15 ninth-inning home runs, the most in a single season. As the Mets slumped out of the wildcard race, analysts were ruthless. One prominent national columnist at the time declared, "Diaz is structurally unsound."
Seattle sold high on damaged goods. The counter-argument, often ignored in the immediate panic of a major market collapse, is that the numbers lied. We must remember the defensive catastrophe he inherited. As one former Mets staffer told me off the record, he was drowning, and the Mets defense, headlined by the aging Robinson Canó and out-of-position fielders, handed him a leaky bucket. Look at the data. Diaz's batting average on balls in play in 2019 skyrocketed to an unsustainable .377 thanks in large part to the National League's third-worst outs-above-average defense. His expected metrics were always far superior to the concrete results. The problem wasn't the arm, it was the mechanics, amplified by the noise of New York. The subsequent seasons, 2020 and 2021, were crucial not just for minor adjustments with Hall of Famer Pedro Martinez, but because the silence of the pandemic-era stadiums allowed him to rebuild his confidence without the constant crushing psychological burden of the New York crowd.
This set the stage for the redemption arc of the century. The 2022 season was pure, unadulterated theater. When Narco dropped, the electricity was palpable. Edwin Diaz didn't just close games, he completed the Mets experience. That year, he struck out over 50% of the batters he faced in over 60 innings of work, a mind-boggling statistical achievement shared only by the peak dominance of Craig Kimbrell in 2012. He had conquered New York.
He earned the historic 5-year, $102 million deal, the largest ever for a reliever, and the city finally settled into the security of having the generational closer. But the narrative gods are often cruel. The instant gratification of that contract was shattered by the plot twist of the 2023 World Baseball Classic, where, securing a routine save, he tore his patellar tendon.
The Mets collapsed that year, proving that Diaz wasn't just a closer, he was the vital lifeblood and the psychological security blanket for the entire pitching staff. His comeback, the rocky 2024 start, the sticky substance suspension, followed by another heroic miracle run rebound that culminated in a clutch 6-out save to beat the Phillies and securing the Mets' first short series playoff victory in almost a decade, was the final, exhausting chapter of his New York resilience. By 2025, he was an all-star again, posting a dazzling 1.63 ERA. But this dominance provided the perfect leverage for the opt-out. The key question is, why leave a comfortable contract with $18 million still guaranteed annually? The counterargument suggests it was purely a monetary decision. He wanted a longer deal or more cash than the Mets were offering. But the truth, I believe, lies in the perceived disrespect.
The Mets' pursuit and subsequent signing of Devin Williams, allegedly without adequately informing Diaz, was the administrative blunder that sealed the door. A source close to the negotiations stated plainly, "When you negotiate with a legend who risked his career and mental well-being for your jersey, communication isn't a negotiation tactic, it's a foundation of respect."
The Mets were only $3 million short of the competing offer from the Dodgers, but they were miles short on understanding the deep, emotional contract Diaz had formed with the city. He didn't just want money. He wanted a clear path to a World Series, and he wanted respect for the redemption journey he had fought.
By signing with the Los Angeles Dodgers on a 3-year, $69 million pact, a smaller annual value but with championship certainty, Diaz made the best decision for his career and his family. He didn't leave too soon. He left precisely when the Mets revealed they were willing to risk his loyalty for a marginal administrative gain. The aftershock of losing the franchise's all-time home run leader will fade, but the empty cinematic space where Narco once played will haunt Citi Field for years to come. If you found this deep dive into the heartbreaking conclusion of the Edwin Diaz era compelling, please hit the like button, share this video with fellow fans who understand this unique Mets pain, and subscribe to 609 True News for more passionate analysis. We want to know, do you agree that the Mets' handling of the Devin Williams signing was the true final straw that pushed Edwin Diaz out of Queens? Let us know in the comments below.